Ah! The hell is wrong with YouTube? Yo, oh, shit. Burning. It's important to remember when you're cooking, don't burn stuff. That ends badly. So, what is going on, lovely people? Hey, this is completely off schedule. I'm testing YouTube on a different phone now because I do live streams when I'm driving around. It's 105 degrees out here. Yesterday I went to 114 and my phone's in the windshield, right on the little holder. Hey, good morning, Winning Streak. And the phone overheats. And hey, Joe, good morning, bud. ¿Qué onda? ¿Cómo está la espalda, brother? Joe's been feeling his age, like, hey, White Rabbit, good morning, good morning. So, in any case, I was fighting with the phone, and I was trying to use up some tortillas, but clearly I failed. So that might be a dog treat later. Bentley's in dog jail this morning. Sassy put him in there because apparently he thought it was appropriate to steal everyone's food this morning. Then he threw the food all over the floor. And then I'm still a little intoxicated, remember yesterday. Well, that's good. Hey, Canadian, buenos dias. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, as we get older, I went to the gym this morning, and I'm looking at these 20 and 30-year-olds, and there's some really fit younger people there, and they're like, ah. And then I look at all the guys my age, and like a lot of them, hey, Loretta, good morning. And I know both you and I probably have to go to work in the next hour and a half. So I had a breakfast meeting, so I was not planning this. And then my customer, this client company that we do work with, moved to a new building. And the security guys, it's very difficult to get through security and bring the breakfast and set it up in the kitchen so we can have our breakfast meeting. So everyone's all screwed up. And then their manager texted and he's like, there's only like 2 of us here. We could, for the next 2 weeks, everyone's either in the field or they're on vacation. So he said, just call next week and we'll just all go to lunch, whoever's left. So it's going to be kind of a ghost town in my industry because people are taking spring break, summer break. Hey, little buddy. So I was trying to figure out a recipe for these. So Vienna sausage, reduced fat. That sounds awful. You might watch me actually taste test these damn things this morning. I throw them on the Kamal and we'll start eating. But yeah, I figured I'd open the chat, see how everyone's doing. Is anyone else, hey Macabus, good morning. Is anyone else seeing really wicked weather right now? Because my understanding is like the whole of the US and then parts of Canada, it's really weird. It's like Western Canada is ugly hot. The Northeast, Canada and the US are inundated with water. And then everything like from Calgary south is getting baked. But it's like at this weird angle that it doesn't make sense. It's only 100 degrees out. See, Joe, and that's, the 100 degrees isn't bad unless you have to go out in it too much. Then it kind of sucks. Fair amount of rain here. Okay, it's usually cool in North Missouri. Swedish weenies with those. So I've actually used them in tacos, believe it or not. I'll split them down the middle and I'll saute them and I'll put a little spice and I'll roll them up into like scrambled eggs and they come out. Hey Mimi, good morning. We had storms early this morning. Lightning hit my house, it was so close. Hey, Shalom Nostra. God, I haven't been to Burlington. I went there when I was in college and I love the town, but there are a lot of hills and the ground is very hard. It doesn't absorb water like say Houston does or Louisiana. So if you all get more than so many inches of water, you're gonna have a foot in the street. Like it's Vermont goes to extremes like that, especially when the water hits the cities and not the mountains. So, yeah, it's been the articles I'm seeing about this movie, about the human trafficking, just blow my mind. Like, They're like, oh, it's not really that bad. It's not 10,000 kids a week. It's only 3,000. I think we should capture all the people who traffic children and then let Joe Morgan decide like what their punishment is. Like Joe could just, hey, Candy, good morning. Joe can just be like, beat him with the stick and have the pigs chase that guy down the street. But anyway, let's see if the taco. No, so this is what happens when you don't pay attention and you argue with your dogs. So notice Pepper's like right below me. You want a piece of burnt tortilla? Oh man, they heard that crack and the dogs came running. Like there's one was asleep, passed out. Here. Don't fight. There's like, seriously guys. I'm Judge Joe. There would be. Let me decide. Suburban. People was hoping you would burn it. She was. Oh, Pepper was. She was hoping I would burn it. The minute I go to this corner of the kitchen, because the acoustics here are pretty good. I got decent lighting most of the time. And usually I'm doing other chores when I do a quick live stream or video here. And the dogs see me, and that's the food corner. Like they know if Dad goes there, he's gonna drop something that we can eat. So they magically appear here. Hey, Rapture Ready, dude, Jackson, you better get. Did you not get one? Did they steal yours? Go on. So anyway, so yeah, burnt tortillas makes a dog treat. He only maimed the. Yeah, that's you know, and it's not like, oh, it was historically inaccurate, or oh, this was technically incorrect, or no, they're like, oh, trafficking's not that bad. It's not 10,000 kids a week, it's 3,000. I'm like, that, you couldn't have written a worse article. You know, had they said, hey, the script was awful. God, the script is terrible, or the lighting was bad, or the edits were terrible, or we couldn't hear what they were saying, and we were confused with the plot. No, trafficking isn't that bad. Hey, Loretta, how are you? So yeah, I don't understand that. That's just, that's a new level of stupid. And you know, Rapture, honestly, I saw a few that say, well, the cinematography was off and they didn't report, you know, this occasion, or they were in the wrong country, you know, something technical. I'd be like, okay, I can live with that. But basically, yeah. But their argument, this one, it was Salon Magazine, which I should know better because it's not even liberal. Because I would think a liberal is a common sense person who wants progress. These are leftists. They've hijacked the word liberal, but they're not liberal. I have liberal friends, and they're like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, they don't even get it. So, new levels of stupid every time I leave the house. That's the truth. God, well, I almost got run over. I almost got killed. Hey, the prepping artist, I almost got killed by stupids last week because the guy ran that stop sign at 70 in a Yukon and almost killed my ass. And, you know, the local PD is up his butt, right? They were right behind him. So, do something special. Well, Joe, as long as you don't dance, we should be golden. This isn't just dancing. No, Loretta, that's my point. Trafficking is everywhere, and they think it's not that bad. No, it's bad. If one kid gets kidnapped in my city and something bad happens to the kid, that's bad, period. If I have $1 for every time I was almost killed, I'd never. Joe, honestly, guys like you and me, so I've rolled in a truck, and not a little truck, like a truck, almost blew myself up with det cord twice, crashed in a helicopter coming from an offshore drilling rig, fell out of a Humvee, and that was fun. And then I wonder, like, why my knees suck. So suburban Atlanta. So I don't have a map of the U. I don't have my iPad, God, because I could pull it up right now. So the trafficking. Sorry, my sinuses, guys. The trafficking comes from. It hits. Oh, I want to sneeze, but I can't. God bless. Sorry, guys. So you have Houston, El Paso. You have I-20 cutting across, right? That's a big trafficking highway. Then you have 45. You get trafficking coming in from the Caribbean into Florida. Goes up what, 95 on the coast. And then in Cali, it's just all the major cities. So Atlanta, New York. Think if you had to like have transportation hubs for like Amazon, where would you put them, right? Atlanta, New York, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, LA, Portland, right? Because you have the port there, hence the name. Seattle. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And you know that they're making light of the fact that the stats are wrong. The stats shouldn't even be there. So it just floors me. I can't compute the level of stupid we see with some people. But they did bust the guy who almost ran me and the other lady down in our vehicles. I checked the arrest roster. Atlanta has the biggest. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. And you look at the big international airports: New York, L.A., Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, Chicago. It's the same cities, almost the same cities. So yeah, it's bad. You gotta wonder what they're. You gotta wonder what kind of. Hey, coffee. Good morning. I just realized I have the little middle finger icon underneath. Yeah, so they did get him. He So I looked at the arrest roster, and they had like public intoxication, public urination, usual drunk shit you see on a Thursday night, and then domestic. And actually, the domestic was the female beat up, like she bushwhacked her boyfriend. He came in, and they got angry, and she whacked the shit out of him with a blunt object, according to the report. But they had one which was felony fleeing the police in a vehicle, and then another felony, and then resisting arrest. Hey, Jason. Hey, Mama Red. And then resisting arrest. So apparently, dumbass committed a crime, got chased, almost killed me and that other lady. Then I guess they trapped him, and he went on foot, and then he fought the first cop that got there. I hope they canined his ass. No, seriously, I hope they sent him a Belgian or a damn German Shepherd, and it bit his leg and dragged his ass all over while the cops pounded his ass a little bit. That moron. Good Lord. And he was headed toward a high school where I knew they had summer, they have the two-a-days for the football team. They have the cheerleader camp. They have all these kids going in and out of that high school. And, thank God it was before lunch and after the kids should have been there, because there could have been kids running up and down that street. Oh, hey, Sea Wolf, welcome. So yeah, it's kind of bizarre, the weird I've been seeing. Okay, so I guess the filter stopped something Joe put, but I'm on my phone and I can't see it. It's just gibberish. It looks like hieroglyphs. And the last time I tried to click it, I ended the live stream. So sorry, Joe, I'm not blocking your comment. I literally can't, I can't see it. So Belgians are good for taking down creepers. So my daughter she's in a veterinary surgical tech. She's licensed here in Texas. And she was fostering a pit bull that was probably the most loving and stupidest of God's creatures. He was a real dumbass, but he was a good dog. I mean, he was just destructive. And she went for a walk, and she's a pretty girl, and some guys pulled up in a car, and they're like, typical idiots, hanging out the window, hey, mama. And she's like, you're an idiot. And she basically told the guy to go fuck off. And she's like, just get the hell out of here. Like, she had no interest, and she has no filter because she's my child and my wife's child. Anyway, so she said, I walked away and the guy opened the door like he was going to come after me. And she threw a whistle at that pit bull. The pit bull jumps over the hedge. He was running in the dog park, jumps over the little fence, lands next to her, looks at the guy, and she goes, get him. And he went into the car after the guy. Like the guy ran back into the passenger's door and, hey, oops, the dog went in. She said he closed the door and the dog went through the window and they had a conversation. And then she called him back and he came back and the guy was like driving with the pit bull in the car because they were in a panic. And I'm like, where are you going with the pit bull? You know, if he's already in your car, you probably need to exit the vehicle or eject the dog. Just driving. Hey, and Sabaner, sorry, I can't see it super small there. Anyway, yes. So anyway, she called him back because the car's starting to drive away and he came back out. And she said he was quite proud of himself. You know how dogs get that happy look like they did something good? And he's like, I'm a good boy, and walks back to my daughter and that car. She said the fact he didn't wreck trying to get out of that parking lot. She's fostered several pits. One got food aggressive and hurt one of the other dogs. And that one, she said she wound up, go away, stupid boy. Don't bark at me. You want to go to your kennel? No, go over there. Nobody likes that. Bentley's already in jail and Jackson's fixing to go to jail here in a minute. But yeah, honestly, and like someone just said, if they're raised right, and he was a foster, so he was a little squirrely. But she said if the ones that were raised right, but she's always placed them in ranches and farms. There's a lot of ranches here in Texas are battling pigs because they're feral hogs. People don't realize when a domestic pig gets loose, they go feral, they grow their hair, and they basically become a warthog. And they get tusks and everything. They're mean sons of bitches. Can be very hard to take down. And so the dog that saved her then wound up destroying her couch like a week later. And she's like, okay, you're just too much. I don't know what to do with you. So she reached out to all the veterinarians and wound up finding a farmer outside of Uvalde, somewhere in south mid-Texas in the hill country, who needed hog dogs. And she's like, well, is he gonna get hurt? I don't want him to get hurt by a hog. And he goes, no, they wear Kevlar. And she goes, what? So she brought him to meet this rancher, and he had 3 other pits and 2 hound dogs, like beagles or something. But the pits they look like the guy from Full Metal Jacket with the flak jacket. So they have this flak jacket they put on the pits, and they have like a little collar. And he's got armor, and they sit there in the back of the truck all happy. And he releases the hounds, right? The hounds take off. And he lowers the tailgate, and he took her. And so her dog had his vest, right? And they're all waiting. And they're all like, happy feet because they want to go, but they have not been given the command. And she said, as soon as those beagles started, arr, arr, and they were howling at that they had found the pigs, he would give the command, and off they went. And she said she's gotten videos since then from that farmer, and he's like, oh, you got to see this takedown. And there's this pig running, and the pit bulls grab him, and bam, down they go. And then, oh man, Mama Red, he absolutely is having his best dog life ever. He's probably old now because this was a few years ago. But she said it was the coolest thing because she said her dog was stupid, right? He didn't understand what was going on, but he pulled out the vests, and the dogs are like, we're gonna go fight. And they were all excited, and he was trying to like settle them down so he could put the vests on. And they put their legs through, and then they Velcro it up the back. So think of the 1970s, 80s, the flak jacket the soldiers wore, but backwards. So it's solid here, and then it zips on the back. It's trying to zip it down here, and the dog's freaking out. So they zip it on the back somehow. But it has a collar, has epaulets over his shoulders. So they go out armored, and they just go and do battle with the pigs and run them off. So I just thought that was really cool. I heard him howling one morning, so I went to check. A rabbit was chasing the beagle. So we had a beagle, what was his name? Charlie. And God, he was a stupid dog. Now I understand why Lucy from Peanuts kept calling Snoopy a stupid beagle. He did everything wrong. And then I had a little basset hound, and he decided to eat palmetto roots. And that's toxic, but it tastes sweet to a dog. I didn't realize this, and he ate the palmetto roots, so the puppies ate the palmetto roots. And I lost 3 dogs in 48 hours because of that stupid beagle, including him. And so I was pissed, right? I lost my puppy, and I lost the stupid beagle. Fortunately, the lab knew better. And so I got pissed the next day after we put the dogs down, and I went and I pulled every palmetto out of that garden. It took me hours. I was dirty. I was bleeding because I got cut. I was pissed. I was like, you will not kill another dog on my property. So needless to say, I never plant palmettos anymore. I did not know that. That's unfortunate. Had I known, I would not have done that. Beagles are verbal. Corgis are big mouths. Pepper's passed out at my feet. They judge. They bark. They complain. Luna decides 7:30 she wants to go to bed. She will walk over to me, look at me and go, mm. I'm like, what do you want? Mm. What do you want, girl? Mm. Do you want to go to bed? All right, fine. It's just funny watching how old people complain. I'm smarter than most humans. She's 18 and a half when she passed. Oh, good Lord. Beagles do live forever. Old people do complain too. But yeah, it's interesting because she decides she wants to go to bed, and then I have to open the bedroom so she can go to her bed. She's the only one who sleeps with us. And then she'll lay there, and when we come in to go to bed maybe an hour later, she'll complain that we woke her up. So she's also the last one who wants to get out of bed. I have to like roll her out of bed. And she's already a big fat potato, so she's looking at me now. She's like, quit talking smack about me. Old people can do what they want. Oh, yay, tortillas. So, and Jackson tried to take Pepper's tortilla, and she's bigger than him, so now he has no tortilla. She took his and hers. That's what you get for stealing, dude. You eat your own, knucklehead. It's still numb on my left side. Joe, you can't, I'm trying to think of what you can do for that. I tell you to stretch it out and see if it pops in place, but that might make it worse. I don't think that would be the best idea. But hold on, I'm not seeing the whole chat. There we go. But okay, I can't see. Suburban hillbilly. Okay, I'm a bad Mexican. My pit blue heeler is so crazy and funny. Only dog I've ever seen offended by farts. Okay, does your dog look for their own farts? Like they'll fart, and then they look, and they're like, what was that? And then they're looking in circles, like trying to figure out where the sound came from. And like, came from the other end of you, buddy. Like, no, although I've been crop dusted by one of these corgis earlier this morning. There's one, and I'm not sure who's the crop duster this morning, but they all ran through the kitchen, and I got absolutely gassed. I had to turn on the vent and leave the kitchen for about 5 minutes. Yeah, Rapture, that's exactly what it is. Well, these are drive-by fartings. Like, you'll get absolutely crop dusted by a corgi and other dogs. But yeah, folks, so I fart and blame the dog. I don't have a dog. Nice. Dog is looking for a human to blame the fart on, probably. And hey, Okie, I didn't see you sneak in on me there. But folks, there's been so much weird lately, and it's just odd how people are not reacting very well. My Rottweilers smell like burning tires. Oh God, drive-by farting. They are. It's a drive-by farting. Let's see if I can heat up a tortilla without setting it on fire. Oh man, I grabbed the tortillas and all the dogs are like, whoa, he's got more. Yeah, I still got that burnt-ass tortilla. What are you complaining about here? Jackson, don't steal it from her. She'll kick your ass again. They outweigh you by like double each. Hey, good morning, KP. Yeah, Jackson forgets that he's kind of the omega. He's not even the beta. He's like at the bottom of the alphabet. And yesterday he was in one of the beds. And yeah, well, I put it on the burner and then I left it and I forgot, Joe. And then I got this. I got a cuchifrito instead of a freaking tortilla. But well, there's no more. Go away. I bet you farted me. Go on. Go out of my kitchen. Go somewhere else. Go on. So what they do, they run out of the kitchen to the edge of the tile, then they turn around and they sit and watch me. Technically, they have left the kitchen. They're no longer in the place I told them not to be. But, well, folks, it's going to be super freaking... You ain't a real... Man, I'm a Puerto Rican, dude. Like, tortillas... If you ask Puerto Ricans for a tortilla, you get an omelet. Same in Argentina. And in Spain, you get an omelet. You know, flat egg. But, hey, winning streak. Hey, Tracy. So, folks, it's going to be hot across the whole country. So if you're going to be driving, right, stop by the store, get the extra case of water, and just throw it in the back seat somewhere. Hey, Urban, what's going on? Have that extra water handy because you never know. You get stranded somewhere, and you don't want to wind up being that person who now they're looking. Yeah. By the way, if anyone has a good recipe for these, please tag me on it. Other than like putting them in eggs or something. Wait, what was that? My great-grandpa on my mom's side fled prosecution in Germany and something else. So, true story, one of my coworkers and one of our ops managers, they went to a field location and they were doing like a visit and an audit kind of thing. And on the way back, they broke down and they were on a dirt road in the middle of a ranch, which is fun, you know, because it's not paved, but it's like caliche, it's that hard rock. Hey, the prepping artist, yeah, well, we were, if you're where I remember you were supposed to be, we're out in West Texas, so we have the heat but no humidity, but we get that wind, so it felt like you were opening an oven to get a pizza out, and it was just that hot. But anyway, this coworker and the manager, the ops guy, gets stuck between the work locations and the highway, and they were like 4 or 5 miles from either side. Unfortunately, they had cell coverage, right? Hey, be safe, KP. Yeah, when she got back. And she's a really good, well, she's actually a geophysicist, but she's really smart. And she goes, I didn't even expect that. So I sent her a basic get home bag list on Teams. I was like, here, put that together and bring it with you whenever you go in the field. And she's like, I can't bring all this stuff. I'm not that organized. And I'm like, no, be organized because this is going to happen to you again. All right, Joe. Take care of yourself, man. We'll see you in a minute. But yeah, you gotta keep that kind of stuff. You want to keep that kind of stuff in your mind. And I'm not giving you a spatula, dude. That's not for dogs. He's looking at me like it could be for dogs. So, right, so the angry prepper, you know, Jason and I chat quite a bit, and he he hates spam, and I don't think a few other creators like it very much. So I'm trying to find, hey, thank you, Loretta. Have fun at work today. Be safe anyway. Trying to find recipes that are palatable. Because if you get creative with spam, you can make stir fry. You can actually use it in ramen too. You can have some fun with that. So, well, shoot. I don't think I have a morning meeting, do I? Or did they cancel it on me again? Now my schedule's so screwed up because we're busy, but so many people are on vacation. I'm Jason. So actually, really? Go away now. I don't like you. No, go before you get woofed by the other dogs. If I tell the corgis, go kick his butt, they'll go run after him. Because the other day I scolded him, and then the corgis came and punished him after I left the room because they were like, Dad said no. So he knows. I told him, do you want to get woofed? You better leave. Go. Don't you grab, that's a garbage truck, fool. It's the same truck that comes every Thursday, knucklehead. You hear him? Now the corgis are looking at him like you're about to get your ass kicked. Use it to flavor dry beans. Yeah, that's true, because you could use it in place of salted ham. Or salted pork, rather. Yeah, get creative. If you have stuff like this lying around and it's cheap, let's see. I mean, it has protein, it has fat, it has sodium, which none of which is something you want on a normal day. But if there's an emergency, you probably need salt and probably need fat because you're burning through your fat reserves in your body. So it may not be the worst emergency food, but yeah, the man is stealing our garbage. That's exactly right. But yeah, if you're going on a road trip of any type, bring extra water. They got stuck. Fortunately, there was another convoy behind them, and they were able to pick them up. And then they sent a mechanic and another driver back to retrieve the vehicle. But imagine if they were in a place where they didn't have good phone connection, because there's places in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, you got no connection. You're in the Montana could be real bad too. So is Nevada. You go out in the mountains or in the desert, you may have nothing, and you don't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere with no water. So fortunately, they didn't wait that long. There was another group of guys driving by, and were able to pick them up and get them to where they could, get home. And then they sent the mechanics back to go retrieve the truck. But my Hawaiian friend, he's okay. So Jason, I went to Hawaii to visit my son. And I got the coolest. It was like a rice cake, but it was soft. It wasn't like the hard rice cakes you buy in the stores. Soft rice cake with thin sliced sauteed spam, scrambled eggs, and like this veggie mix. And you ate it with a fork. And they gave me this bowl, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I took 2 bites. I'm like, wow, this is really good. Like, I really don't know how to complain about this. It's just weird, but it tasted really good. So I wonder how evil spam is versus some others. Oh, I don't have a can of spam in here. That's in the other room. But if you look at the contents, it's actually pork, ham, which is silly because that's kind of the same thing. So pork, ham, and something else. And then basically the salt, preservative. So it's actually straightforward. These freaking things have mechanically separated chicken. So you have your chicken roadkill with, I can't even read this shit. Salt, water, natural flavor, mechanically separated chicken. I don't even know what to make of that. That just sounds awful. That some people are missing. Some pets are missing, maybe. I don't know. You'd be a terrible spam, dude. You're like a furball. No, I'm not giving you tortilla. You barked at me yesterday. Then the corgis kicked his ass, which was kind of comical. But be creative with this stuff. You never know. There are good, half-decent recipes you could do with this canned stuff. But that's why you'll see I haven't done a cooking video lately. I probably need to start doing that again, where I cook with things I prep, but actually made a meal. I mean, you can open this kind of stuff and eat it out of the can in an emergency, and it works, but it sucks, right? So, have some fun this weekend. I know mechanically separated. I don't even know what to make of that phrase. I don't even want to look it up because that'd be awful. Mechanically separated chicken. But at least know how to manage and work with what's available, right? Because unfortunately, spam has an awesome shelf life. There's certain things that have great shelf lives that are probably, normally you're like, but if you practice while times are good, while you have power and lighting, and you can experiment a little bit, and you may burn some stuff. I've done recipes with spam. I've done recipes with these stupid sausages, and I screwed them up. And I burnt something, or it just tasted awful. I forgot the wrong spices, and to the trash it went. But I'm trying to figure out now, what do I need to do to make this product palatable? Because in an emergency, like look at Rona, we couldn't find freaking toilet paper of all things, which was not what I was expecting. But yeah, toilet paper. Like what the hell were people thinking? But think about if that kind of thing happened because of a Rona. Imagine potted meat as sandwiches. If you're hungry or half starving, doubt you're going to care. No. But Jason, if you can figure out a way to make it into a meal that not only is nourishing, but also motivates people, right? Like if you're eating out of a can, you're just sustenance, right? But if someone makes some kind of half-ass meal that's decent during an emergency time, it increases morale, which is important because psychologically what you don't want to deal with, you have an emergency, a hurricane or a flood, and you're trying to deal with that, and then somebody's having a meltdown because they freaked out. I can eat spam, but I gotta fry it till almost burnt. So I found if I thin slice it or cube it, it's a heck of a lot better. And I also have put it in tacos. I'll cube it, saute it, and roll it up in a flour tortilla. And it's actually not half bad, but I don't even put salt in the eggs or in anything else because the spam has so much salt in it. It salts the entire meal, so I don't even add salt. So that's another thing. If you're cooking with something processed like that, it's going to have added sodium. Don't add more. You have a spam slicer. Oh, I'm so curious now. I'm gonna have to go on Amazon. You can mix up a lot of ramen noodle. Yeah, and that's easy and it's quick. Also pasta. So when my kids were small, I had to feed a bunch of little boy Cub Scouts at the last minute. Like something happened with excessive salt. Right, Urban, that's true. So you have to understand your own health situation as well, which is why I make videos about exercise and working out and how not to hurt yourself, because I want to be in the best possible shape I can be in. And everyone's situation is different. Hey, Teresa, best possible shape you can be in with the freshest products you can have if something happens. And that's why, there's sometimes my cans get close to expiration. I donate them and I restock. I could probably eat them for another year. We all know that the canned food, it's, the best by date, you could probably extend that realistically a couple of years. But in an emergency, I want to have the freshest stuff I can because I may not be able to get more. Then I will have to eat it expired. I don't want a bunch of already expired stuff. You know what I mean? Livingston Man showed us a cheese slicer. One with a handle works great for slicing spam. Okay, I use, I don't know. I have a really nice Santoku knife. I do need to sharpen that puppy though. I need to bring it to the store. But I found that flat blade cuts way easier than some of the more conventional blades. Oh yeah, Oki, absolutely. But keep an open mind. But guys, if you're traveling, double check your vehicles. Make sure your tire pressure is right. It's like when you're in extreme cold, your tires deflate a little bit. You can make your eggs taste like French toast. Add a touch of milk, little sugar, cinnamon, and vanilla. Yeah, if you have spices, I got a spice rack up here. Off topic, it's not too late. Wait, I lost track of something here. I'm sowing seeds in southern Wisconsin. You guys are getting a lot of rain up there, aren't you? But now's a great time. Practice. And you may make something ugly. Anyway, with the Cub Scouts, I made this big ass mac and cheese, and I crumbled up bacon I had made the day before. It was in the fridge. I heated it till it was till it was crispy where I could crumble it. And I chopped up spam and I threw that with peas and carrots into the mac and cheese. And I gave each boy a bowl, and I knocked them all out. Like, they got carb loaded. Within an hour, they were passed out watching Shrek in the living room. So, yeah, winning streak. To winning streak's point, also, if you are planting, pay attention to your planting time. But good God, Novata should wake up after 31. 30 warm shots of vodka. God. Hell no. But folks, practice now. While you have the weekends, you know, things are a little bit quiet. They're mellowed out. People are on vacation, but you may be traveling. Practice cooking. Have some fun with it. It may not be something you'd make for dinner every day for your family, but it's something it's good to practice. Have your kids, if you have kids at home or nieces and nephews, get them in on it. Say, hey, we're going to cook this recipe, and we're going to see if it's good or it sucks. Kids love doing this. I had my kids in the kitchen all the time. So the fact that there are Gen Z kids out here who can't cook blows my mind. Somebody didn't teach them, because I used to have mine in the kitchen all the time. Is honestly no way to Dr. Ups. Yeah, and so yeah, absolutely teach your kids. But if you're traveling, and that's another thing, tell your kids, hey, we're going to bring water in case we get stuck. It's really hot. And if the air conditioner doesn't work because the car breaks down, we have water. You don't have to panic the kids. Just tell them, hey, this is just in case. Kids get it. They're not stupid. They're like, oh, okay. I was a latchkey kid. I was in the kitchen. See, Rapture, so was I, but my neighborhood, we had a lot of Italians, Irish, and Jewish families, and then like 5 Puerto Rican families, and that was it. And one black kid down the street. Like, it was a very ethnic neighborhood, and I was not that group. I just happened to be there, and because my dad's work. But it wasn't uncommon for me to be in a kitchen with like my friend Tommy's mom, and Tommy's mom's mom came from, you know, Salerno. And so they're like, oh, we're going to make pasta. And she was just making shit. And so I'd be in there helping, because she's like, boys, come over here. Because that's how we did it, right? And get your ass over here. You go get that. And then we were afraid of the damn wooden spoon, because if we had mischief, right, somebody's grandma whack us with the spoon. So we didn't want that shit. And yeah, you grew up in the kitchen. So for me, being in the kitchen was not abnormal. My dad loved to cook. He grew up during the Depression, where they starved, like legit, they were starving. So he liked to cook. He wanted to be sure his family was fed. That was a big thing for my dad. So he learned to cook from his buddies in the army, who were Italian, mainly Italians. And so we made this weird hodgepodge of Puerto Rican and Italian stuff. But yeah, you teach your kids. It's funny because the wooden spoon, the other day, the dogs started fighting while I was cooking, and I had the wooden spoon, so I smacked the dog in the butt to break them up, but then I realized I've now dirtied the spoon. I did that 3 times in one cooking session. Like, I went, get out of my kitchen. They ran away, and I'm like, damn it, into the sink. Got another spoon. They came back fighting again. I smacked a different one in the butt. They ran away. That one went in the spoon. Finally, I put them all in their crates. I'm like, I'm done. I'm running out of spoons. As a child, but when I became... See, prepping artist, and that's exactly it. So my daughter lives down by you guys, and she loves to cook. And I want to see some Puerto Rican food. I need to dig up, I gotta call my oldest sister and get some of Dad's recipes. He made some epic stuff, but it was so bad for you. Like, there was a lot of oils and fried stuff, and that's why Dad had cholesterol issues. He had so many issues because of like the shit he ate. I'm like, Dad, eat a salad, for Christ's sakes. But anyway, folks, if you're on the road this weekend, it's going to be ugly hot across. Oh, blood sausage is really good, which they call boudin in South Louisiana. All it is the Spanish, what do they call it? It's not an empanada. That's a Mexican dish. Oh, God, I got all my dishes mixed in my head now. pastel, which is basically a blood sausage, but in a square with rice and the meat. But the Cajuns call it boudin, and it's actually a sausage. So, yeah, I've got such a hodgepodge of foods in my head. But yeah, do some experiments this weekend. If you're not traveling, get the kids or just have some fun. Break out some wine. Don't have 15 shots of vodka, but have some wine, go and make some stuff and see what it tastes like. So in an emergency, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Suburban. Yeah, boudin is pig blood sausage. But the Puerto Rican version was square. They'd wrap it in banana leaves as opposed to like the tamales, which are wrapped in corn leaf. So it's different. Chorizo is open. Some of my Mexicans don't serve it. I don't know about Wednesday. Maybe the Wednesday Catholic Mass. I don't know. My Mexican friends here, if they want chorizo, they just eat chorizo. And chocolate milk. Apparently that's a thing. My buddies from Mexico City, they're like, no, you have to have chocolate milk with chorizo tacos. I'm like, you do? So I went and tried it, and for whatever reason, it's really good. Yeah, but Joe, I'm not sure if that's the reason. Like that, I don't know. July's back to school. Clothes shopping, clothes cheap. Yeah. So yeah, if you're traveling, folks, make sure you bring extra water with you. Just pick up that 6 or 12 pack and throw it in the back seat or back of the SUV or your truck, whatever. So it's there. If you don't use it, bring it home. Let the kids use it for practice. And if you're not traveling, do some cooking. Have some fun. Grab a can of Spam. Grab freaking stupid little weenie sausage things. Make a pasta dish. Use up some of your preps, practicing how to make a meal out of it. Because in an emergency, that will make a big difference. If you can make a proper meal and make folks feel better. It's very distracting if there's a big trauma going on and you can make a decent meal for the family. Horchata, no, coconut rum. But yeah, horchata is easy. But practice with those dishes so you can actually, in an emergency, you'll know what to cook. And I would recommend use your propane stoves every now and then. Make sure you're ventilated in the house to cook some pasta or something so you understand how long it takes. Because I promise you, on this big gas stove, I can cook a lot faster than on a propane stove. And so you want to know how long it takes, and you also get to use some of the gas tanks and replace them. So do some practice this weekend, folks. Cold SpaghettiOs is not a bad thing. I've eaten plenty of that out in the field. But yeah, do some practice, bring water, and check your vehicles before you hit the road, folks. But anyway, I'm probably got to be somewhere in a little bit. So I'm hoping I might be able to do these little breakfast chats more often as my schedule bounces around this year. But on the engine block while you drive. Hell, out here, I just leave the can out in the freaking sun. It'll be 100 and... Holy shit, what's it going to be today out here? So those of you in Texas, I know the prepping artists are out here. So Oahu is 71. So my son, it's going to be 104 near Austin, 104 near Waco, 109 in Dallas. They can keep that, or in Vegas, sorry. And let's see, Socorro, New Mexico, 98. Pittsburgh, 89. That's kind of hot for Pittsburgh. Oklahoma City, 97. Corpus Christi, 94, but you have the beach. San Antonio, 104. Dallas, 103. Houston, 100. West Texas, 107. Oh, and then we get rain. So it'll be humid in 107. That's so much more fun. So that's probably going to feel like 114. Fuck. That's going to suck. Okay. Well, I guess I better make ready for the day. Hey, folks, be careful. Oh, softball tournament. Hey, Miss America. Well, have fun. Make sure the kids don't overdrink the water. They get a little Gatorade or something else. They just had a kid go to the hospital because he drank 5 bottles of water. And it was like a 10-year-old. And he made himself sick. He diluted his bloodstream too much. So you can actually overhydrate if you don't get some electrolytes or food. So make sure don't just drink, but eat food and make sure you're getting a little bit of electrolytes when it's really hot. And if you're sodium sensitive, be careful of the electrolytes, be conscious what you're eating. But hey, Rescue, what's going on? So, folks, I'm going to wrap it up because I probably need to get dressed and do something productive today. But you guys be safe out there, be careful, and y'all stay blessed. Do good things and practice cooking this weekend. It's too freaking hot to be outside and go bake yourself and die. So, cook in the house. But anyway, you guys be good, be safe. Rescue, I've got to send you an email I sent you an email earlier. I don't know, you probably haven't seen it yet, but holler at me. Let me know what you think. And you guys be careful out there. Take care of yourselves. Bye.